Welcome to Ask One. First of all, I just want to introduce this new season that we're starting. This is our second season. We just ended the first season, and we had our think tank, and it was very successful. So I want to shout everybody out that made it to the think tank and say thank you. Make sure if you liked our content, make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing this with the people around you and friends and family. With that being said, right now, hit it. Let's go. Welcome to Ask One. Thanks again for tuning in to Ask One TV. We want to tell you guys thank you. Let's do that. Take that with behind. Hey, it's lit. Thank you. Okay. We love you. I will go. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna have a good time. And we're gonna talk. But this is our second season, so welcome, guys, to Ask One.
Hi, my name's Amanda Dials, and I have been through addiction, and I'm a recovering addict. So I've been clean about 12 years now.
Awesome, yeah, awesome. So we're talking to Amanda today,
yeah.
And Amanda has taken time to speak with us here on the platform and educate us, and also tell us about her experience. We will get a little bit into if you want to see more of like her story. How I'll have her let you know where to go to kind of view it. But today we're going to focus on, we'll just start off with just how are you, first of all?
I'm doing really well.
Doing good?
Actually, I'm in the best place ever right now, really.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome. So you mentioned earlier, I know we were talking, you're from Kentucky?
Kentucky, yeah, Louisa, Kentucky, originally. Well, actually, it's like up a holler between like Louisa and Inez and Paintsville. Yeah, so
okay.
Grew up a holler, and
So what was it like growing up in Kentucky?
It was pretty slow and pretty, like a lot different than here. People are a lot different than they are here. It's just real slow and laid back, and people are friendly. Not that they're not friendly here, but like.
No, they're not friendly. You can tell the truth. They're not friendly here.
Well, I have met some amazing people here, so yeah. But it was nice and slow, and I grew up like a tomboy, climbing the hills and fishing, and and just enjoying, playing.
So it's kind of like more Aurora, you would say.
More what?
More Aurora, like
yes.
Like Aurora area.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm from Liberia, West Africa, so I can definitely understand a rural area, what it looks like, and climbing trees. I had a plum tree in my backyard. It was actually down the hill. We'd go shake it up, throw rocks at it. So yeah. So being that you're from Kentucky, let me ask you this:
Sure.
Is it Louisville or is it Louisville?
Louisville. It's Louisville.
It's Louisville. Okay.
For me, yes, it's Louisville.
So it's Louisville.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I tell people I'm like Louisville, Kentucky. They're like, no, Louisville. Okay.
Yeah, and then they'll ask you like, what's the capital of Kentucky? Is it Louisville or Lexington?
Lexington. Louisville.
Frankfort.
Oh, see, that was a trick question, y'all. So we just learned something. I didn't even know. The capital of Kentucky is Frankfort. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that was the first. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they try to get you on that a lot.
Yeah, I would think it's Louisville.
Would.
So why is Louisville the most popping place in Kentucky?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, you ever been to Derby?
I have not. No.
Have not.
No.
Okay, cool. So let's just kind of. So how long have you been clean?
Since 2012.
Since 2012.
So 10 years.
10 years.
Going on 11 years this November.
First of all, congratulations.
Thanks. It's been a crazy journey.
It's been a crazy journey?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that journey.
Sure.
Let's talk about how it started.
It started, I was like 18 or so, and I had gotten in a car accident. I don't even think I had my license yet, but I was driving my mom's brand new Toyota 4Runner, and I was going down the holler, and I went a little farther than I was supposed to, and there was some gravels laid out, and I went too fast, and I fishtailed over a 50-foot cliff.
Ooh.
And landed on its top and turned it into a truck, pretty much. And so I want to just a little shout out, because I have to say, like, the Lord has, brought me to where I'm at. And even in that experience, not looking back, even in that experience, I didn't see it till now, but like everything was smashed all around me. I was laying on my top in this vehicle, and like the passenger seat was smashed to the floorboard. The back seat was smashed to the floorboard. There was a tree all the way through the back seat. Only thing that was, it was just a little cubby hole where I was. And then I climbed up the hill and I went and got help. But I ended up going to pain management after that. And at that time, that was kind of when like the opiate epidemic.
Oh, the opiates. Yeah, that's when like probably started. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was. I didn't realize it then. I was young, and I just thought I was going to a doctor to like help me.
Yeah.
Recover. But they was like, I was like 18 and never really been hurt before, and she's giving me like these stronger pain pills like hydrocodone 10 milligrams, Xanax, Soma. And then just being at that place, like there was, just the crowd that's there. Then you get talking, and then like, and just being young. I don't know. I just kind of slowly fell into it that way, I guess.
So you was 18 in the facility.
Yeah.
Where they was treating you.
Yes.
I can imagine. Okay, that's so. You mentioned that God has always been blessing you,
absolutely,
which is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And He got you here for a reason, obviously.
Yeah.
And you fall off of a cliff, a 50-foot cliff. And where were you in the car? Where were you?
Driving it, yeah.
Okay. So were you in the passenger seat?
No, in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you was in the driver's seat when like you crashed.
Yes.
So everything other than the driver's seat was like smashed. Did you have your seatbelt on?
Yes, because I was upside down, so when I let it go, I kind of like went to the roof. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I had to roll the window down, went up, and crawled out.
Thank God for the seatbelt, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that it was probably that you didn't know, but you just thought you was getting treatment. But this is like when the opioids crisis was maybe at its earlier stages.
Yes.
And
especially in that area, because it kind of took over that whole area.
The whole area?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you're in this facility getting treatment. What did you break? Like what?
Nothing.
You didn't break nothing?
I didn't have anything really wrong with me.
So
I had like a bruise, like a big round bruise right here, and it's kind of like hard now, but
that's
yeah,
a blessing.
That was it.
So why did they prescribe you these pills?
I'm still asking. I don't know. I trust the doctor to, help me. I mean, I just went. That's what the insurance and all that, like, kind of. I guess I don't remember exactly how I got to this particular pain management, but yeah,
and there was nothing wrong with you.
There was nothing really.
But because you got in an accident, they just say, let's give her some pills. So then you took a few.
Yeah.
And how did the addiction come about?
Well, then, like I say, you just start befriending some of the people there, and then so a lot of them were already addicted, and then like they introduced me and my boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
I
was gonna say it's always a couple of things. It's always like, and I say this because whenever something happened, and I tell Smith this too, it's like, okay, you follow two things: the money or the girl. It's like, what happened? It's either like the money or the girl. So okay, that's awesome. So it was a guy.
Yes.
Okay.
He was going there with me, and we just got talking about people. They started hanging out with people, addicts, I guess, and they were snorting the pills. They were like snorting the pills. A lot of them would sell the pills. They were just going there to like get the pills to sell them. So we just kind of fell into that crowd, but that really wasn't. I mean, that's what started it. It was kind of like a lot of teenagers or whatever are out drinking and stuff, which we went through that phase a little bit. But at that time, pills were the thing. That was like where everybody was partying, and everybody was trying to get the pills to party, and
You said 2012.
No, that's when I started getting clean. This was in 2000.
Oh, 2000.
2001.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This when it started.
This when it's like fresh, like when it's like they about to start infiltrating the market. Okay, so you went through the phase, talked to, like anywhere else. When you meet, you're in a group, you meet people. You thinking they're your friends, or you are friends, going out doing a similar thing that you guys are possibly interested in. At what point did you know you was falling down in like a hole? Did you ever like?
No, because at that time, it was kind of exciting. Like you would like just the excitement of like going and finding these pills. Sometimes like if you would run out and like I didn't realize I was addicted then. I still functioned for the most part, in life and worked, but still, like, always had these pills. And
so it was just a pill thing for you.
Yeah.
It was not like no other stuff. It was like just oxy. What are some of the pills that you was hooked on? Oxycodone.
Well, yeah, this was hydrocodone. It's a little bit, I think, just a smidge less than the oxycodone at this time. And I did that for about 10 years. And then we moved up here with my dad on the east side, actually. And so my boyfriend at the time, he never would work. Like, it was always me working and pretty much supplying, like, our habit and stuff through this time. And so we moved up here with my dad, and then I finally left him, and I finally, we'd been together, like, we was like puppy love, like, since I was like 12, and then, like, like, he was more like my best friend, like, throughout this whole thing, more than, like, anything else. But then, like, he never would work, and I would get tired of that a lot. So I left him in Kentucky, and then I came up here, and then, like, 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant. And I was like 25 at this time.
Okay.
And I wanted to give him a chance. So the reason I found out I was pregnant, let me backtrack just a little bit.
Okay.
So how I found out I was pregnant, because like I said, we've been together like 10 years and never got pregnant or anything. So finally left him, and I was snorting these pills. I was all doing it on my own this time. And I would snort a pill and I would puke. And I would snort a pill and I would puke. And then and I would just so sick all the time. And I was just like, I'm done with it. Finally, like, I'm done. And then I found out I was pregnant. And then I stopped, like, through the whole pregnancy. But it wasn't because I was, like, some, great person that stopped because I was pregnant. I probably wouldn't have. I think that was the Lord also working with me to make sure my daughter was okay.
It's willpower, too.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of strength and courage to, care for, something that's outside of you or bigger than you, So, yeah, definitely a lot of courage there.
Yeah. Well, actually, not. I mean, at that time, no, I was weak, and I probably, if I wasn't getting sick, I probably wouldn't have stopped on my own willpower. Honestly, I feel like that was the Lord working on me as well. Yeah. And because I can't take credit for that, because I really don't think that I'm.
At that moment, you wasn't there, but the sickness made you.
So I can see, like, I know a lot of people give women that are pregnant and addicted a lot of flack, but I just. I wasn't most of my pregnancy, but I can see how it's hard to stop. Like, once it gets a hold of you, like, it just takes over. And there's, you are so weak. Like, so anyway, after I had my daughter, I ended up having to have a C-section, and they prescribed me pain pills in the hospital. Again, and which they didn't know about my past.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, what's going on, America? Are you kidding me, America? Like, wow. I was like...
No. And then also during that time, since I was pregnant, and my boyfriend at the time, he didn't really have his dad in his life, and he would always talk about how he wanted to be this great dad, and I wanted him to have that opportunity. So I let him back in my life, but he was still using. And that when I was in the hospital, he had literally went to the doctor, so he had a prescription of pain pills, plus they were giving me a prescription of pain pills. So after that, it was like I was right back at it, but
let me ask you a question. How do you keep up with him now?
No.
Is he okay? Do you know?
No, I think I really don't know what he's doing. I know he doesn't reach out to my daughter very often.
What's her name?
Jada.
Jada?
Yeah.
Hey, Jada. You watching this? What's up? So, how is Jada now?
She's doing amazing. Like, it's just me and her in our little apartment now, and, like, she's about to be in 10th grade, and, like, it's my dream come true to have just me and her, and we're, like, living our lives. Like,
what school is she?
Marysville.
Marysville.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have the baby. You leave him, of course, because he comes back in your life, and he's still using, and obviously you don't want to around your daughter.
Well, I started using as well. So during this time, I started getting worse and worse, and then so it was about 2 years. And he still wouldn't work, and I was still taking care of the baby. He was a great dad at the beginning, like, and I worked, and he stayed home and watched her. And
First of all, I think it's a problem when a man don't want to work.
Yeah.
Let's just get that clear, okay, guys? If a man don't want to work, it's a problem, okay? Here on As One, let me be the first to say it, okay? Well, at this time, I just want to say, first of all, thank you. Yeah. We're here. We're still talking. But go ahead and like, share, comment. We'll see you in the comment if you like this. We're going to keep up with her. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. If you're out there, you're struggling with the same thing, hopefully this is some inspiration. And, you can always reach out to her. We have a direct contact, and we can, help you. She can let you know, how she overcame it. That's the next, actually a great segue to get over that, First, let's talk about when did the trouble start, and then we can talk about the healing.
Okay.
So when did you ever get in trouble? What are some of the troubles you went through? Some of the things that made you say, you know what, this is it. This is enough. It's too far, and all that good stuff.
So after about 2 years of him, we finally broke up, and then I was at a friend's house and met this other guy. It's
another guy.
Yeah, it's another guy.
So the guy, girl, or the money.
Yeah. So, and he, was from Columbus, and he knew a lot of connections in Columbus to get pills. He didn't even do pills at the time, but he knew where to get them, and we started hanging out, and he knew people that were going to Florida, to the doctors down in Florida, to the pill mills and stuff. During this time, too, though, I had upgraded from, the smaller pain pills, the 10 milligrams and whatnot, to the 30 milligram Percocet 30s and Oxys. They were kind of going away at the time, but mostly the Percocet 30s. And to go to Florida to get them, they were giving them out by the boatloads. They were, handing them out I can't even tell you. It was a crazy, experience. So, my first trip to Florida, going to the doctor, with nothing wrong with me. They had a camper outside with an MRI machine in it. They did an MRI. You go in there, it's at the welfare office. There would be people from all over the country, not just from Florida, from Tennessee, Missouri.
Where in Florida? Is this Tampa? Is this Miami?
Yeah, Tampa.
In Tampa?
Yeah, that's where it started.
Shame on you guys.
Yeah, Tampa. And then, so my first time, it was, 280 Oxycontin 80s, 330 Percocet 30s, 120 Xanax bars, and 120 Somas, and 240 Oxy 40s. These were all one script from one doctor in 1 month. So if I was smart, I should have just took what I was prescribed to help my pain and sat outside the emergency room and then just
make some money.
Yeah, man. But I didn't, and we were going.
Wow, they prescribed you that much pill.
And we were going in 2 at a time. You're not even supposed to go to a doctor,
And they will give it to you right there and then.
Well, they give you the prescription, and then you go to the pharmacy.
But the pharmacy didn't see nothing wrong with that.
Pharmacies don't care. They just want the money. You follow the money. And so, matter of fact, at one, the pharmacist would come to your hotel room and fill your script. You didn't have to go to the pharmacy. It was...
This was infiltrated. It sounds like this was definitely planned.
It was a whole
and that's why it's so bad now. It's still getting worse, and
And at that time, they didn't have anything to track prescriptions or whatever. So you could go not just to that doctor. You could go to however many doctors you want, and there was no way to track that.
Okay.
Now they have, I think it's called the KASH system, where they track your prescriptions. And so I did that for probably about 4 years, I'd say.
Back and forth from Florida to here.
Yeah, every month. Yeah, so.
So you would bring it. Did you distribute it or?
Well, see, me and my ex at the time, we would both get our scripts, and he went to more doctors than I did, but we would get our scripts, and we would keep one, and then sell one, and then we also had somebody that was kind of paying for a lot of it too. That was just. Somebody who had money, because we were addicts and we were just,
Hey, if you have 300 perks, what are you gonna do? You can't take all 300. You gotta share the wealth, right?
Listen, I was doing sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
But I could do 25 of those 30s a day, and be and. You
know what? Because I remember maybe, I'm old fashioned. Call me old fashioned, but I just feel like certain things are embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And I get embarrassed quick, and I always hold my friends accountable. Mm-hmm. I went to visit my friend one day, and we're sitting in his living room, and he literally, this might have been 2014, he crushed a pill as I'm sitting there and just started sniffing it. And I'm When did this become cool? I'm talking to him like, dude, you can't just sit here and do this in front of me. Like, I would never, ever, and I think I haven't seen him since. I'm like, dude, I made it a point and told him, I'm not going to be hanging out with you because if I could just casually be sitting and come visit you and you crushing pills and snurring it in front of me without even, like, it's not like you're rolling a joint. It's not like, you drinking a beer. Almost like he was drinking a beer. It's almost like it's cracked open a beer. But that's just how bad it is. But, those are the cry for help. And, like I said, I hold my friend accountable. So I kind of told him right there and then, and that's how I am. And hopefully that helped him. But I haven't seen him in a while.
I was going to say, have you seen him since?
I haven't seen him in a while. You know who you are. But, I'm not going to say no names, but, we have to hold people accountable, Mm-hmm. I really wish, like you said, God was with you, through the safety. I really wish there was somebody in your corner, And
I did. Like, I had a ton of people.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I had my dad, who, I'm his only daughter, only child, and my aunt who, so while I was going back and forth to Florida, I had left my daughter with my mom for while I was down there, and the CPS come and and got me for abandonment because the school I think had called them and said that my mom was bringing her to the bus all the time and whatnot. So I lost her. I didn't lose her. I was supposed to be going through everything I was supposed to be going through in Kentucky. They gave her to my aunt, who is a blessing, and took care of her and took her in and went to court every other Wednesday just to keep her out of the system and stuff. Yes. So I had a great but I just abused that. That's what I'm saying. I had the best childhood. I had the best family. I had the best friends. Growing up in high school, I had the best high school experience. There was nothing I didn't have no trauma growing up. It just slowly got me and just took me and then changed me into somebody completely different, conniving and using the trust that these people had in me and using it against them and manipulating them to get, because I was in survival mode at one point, and I was just any way I could get.
Oh yeah, I know. I know how it is when you're young and you're moving. My mom always used to tell me, stop. Just stop for a second. I think that's something we talked about at the program we just had. Sometimes you have to stop and reflect, and just see where you're at in that moment, see where you're going, where you want to go, and then planning, of course. Well, I definitely appreciate you, telling this, because the reason why we're here on this platform is to share our experience. We all have shared experience, and you're brave enough to, even talk about it. And somebody's going to benefit from this. Next thing I want to definitely ask you is, what is something you want to say to a young 16 to 22, 25, or a young addict out there that maybe is going through the same thing? What is that message you want to kind of convey for them?
Just listen to that still small voice that's in you, and that's, I know, pleading for you to stop. And I can remember laying there one time and I was watching Intervention, ironically, and just I wish somebody would come in here and save me right now. So let me back up just.
Yeah.
I just have to say the Lord. I didn't see it then, and I know people push him away. I just have to say God, is just run towards him as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason I'm here right now.
That's okay.
So, but yeah, during this time,
this is beautiful. This is very beautiful. I thank you for your courage.
Yeah, no, I have to hold myself accountable too, and this helps me as well as I hope it helps anyone else, because, I have to. This is his story. This is God's story, not my story, and that's why I want to do this more. And I feel like I hadn't been doing it. Smith had asked me to do this a while back, and I kind of put it off, and I feel like, I shouldn't have done that. That was.
Don't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
But yeah, so I can just tell you. So
you can be free, open with
I have so many things going on in my head right now, so many different stories. But just to lift the Lord up in this a little bit. So, or all of it. So, like, after a while of going and getting all these pills and doing all these pills, then they started cracking down on the prescriptions and the doctors down there and busting them. So pills here in Columbus, the prices started going up because they were harder to get down there or anywhere. They pretty much shut down all the ones in Kentucky and Southern Ohio at that time, and that's why people were going to Florida. So when the prices started going up and they were harder to get, and I'm already all in, like I'm doing 25, 30s a day, and they're like at this time like $30 a piece, you know, so that gets expensive.
Yeah.
And I talked so much stuff about people who shot up and used the needle, and I was like, I'll never do that. Even in my worst is snorting pills and stuff, I would never stick a needle in my arm.
Yeah.
But then there I was, like I can remember the first time I did it, and I just couldn't believe that it was me, but I just was so sick and just needed that relief, you know, so bad that I was willing to do whatever it took just to have just this, because it like sometimes I would wake up in the mornings and like it would hurt to like just lift my arm up. Like it hurt. I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes if I didn't have a pill.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then, but now it's like,
you're healthy,
I can jump up and
that's one thing I tell my mom all the time. Number one, you got to drink water. Mm-hmm. That's me. That's like my healer. I just drink water and go to sleep. It's like I don't even trust these pills. I don't take no pills because I feel like once you take a pill, you got to worry about getting off of it.
Right.
It's like when you on it, like you'll feel good, but when it start wearing off, even if it's like a simple Tylenol or Advil, you know, it's so hard.
It is.
It's so hard. You start feeling different pains from different, and sometimes it can help you. I tell you an instance where it did help me. I think I went to the hospital. I had got a root canal, and I think I was playing with my toes, and it kind of got black. You know, I think I had an infection in my feet though, but my root canal hurt so bad it gave me some antibiotics, and that actually healed that and that. So my toe ended up, you know, so it could be a good thing if you really need it. But if you're like, if you're not really that sick, if you're not, you know, getting ready to, you know, pass or you know, something severe, you know, drink water and go to sleep, you know, because your body your immune system is going to fight things off regardless, you know.
All right. God made it that way. He made you to where you can, like, if you just, and that's just man, like, you know, like, and that's what I feel like too. It gets into your muscles or whatever. I don't know scientifically or whatever, but that's what it felt like. You know, it would constrict my muscles so bad to make me hurt more.
Yeah.
And then I'd need to do it more. And then, but now, like you say, I, you know, mostly drink water too. And
you're healthy. And it's amazing, like, how your body kind of healed itself.
Right.
So to shut everything down, in Kentucky and Florida, pills goes up. Kind of remember that time. Mm-hmm. It's like $30 a piece. I think, even Zans were like up and stuff like that.
Yes.
I think different type of Zans. They had like the blue Zans and the white Zans and all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
I was also one of my.
That's kind of like hand in hand though. If you like that stuff, you probably mess around with that.
Mess it together.
So how did you get busted? Like, how did that news story come about?
So during this time, so I never grew up in the church. I went to Old Regular Baptist with my Grammy, and Uncle Tom was the preacher there, and just a handful of times. So, you know, I knew, and they never pushed it on me or anything. But I seen how they lived, and I seen the Lord in their lives. But my mom, as far as my mom, we were just talking about this the other day. Actually, I never was religious, and at my mom's where I lived, and so. And she had developed, when I was like in 8th grade, developed schizophrenia. So when she did this, when she went through this, and she heard voices, she heard, she said, it sounded like the most angelic voice you could ever hear and the most demonic voice you could ever hear, and they're like talking. And this is what she was going through, and then she would just do things that would just. So I resented, and she would read the Bible. We just got, we haven't had 3 channels for the longest time, and then we got this big satellite dish, so we got more channels. and then there was this show on TV that would come on, like Shepherd's Chapel or something it was called, but she would watch this all the time, and her and my stepdad, and they all of a sudden started reading the Bible, but she was doing these crazy things, and at that time, in that age, like, I resented it, and I was embarrassed by it, and kind of resented God for doing that to her.
Yeah.
You know, at that time. So through all this, I didn't see God in none of it. But now that I'm clean and I have clear eyes to see, and as soon as, like, soon after I did, I could see the Lord work through all of this, just like with the wreck. And then, so I was, like I say, I started shooting up, and I had went to the dope boy's house one day and got some dope, and was walking down the alley here in South Columbus, and didn't have a needle to shoot it up with, and in my head it was a waste to like snort it or take it or anything like that. It was, and I stopped in an alley. There was a needle by a trash can, and I stopped. I picked that needle up, and I knew it probably had 1,000 diseases on it, and you know, I didn't care. Like, it would have made the pain go away faster, and I just wished death on myself. Like, I wished all that would go away. I was so ashamed of myself. That wasn't me. That, you know, I was just ashamed for my family, my daughter. I hadn't spoke to her or my aunt or my dad. And my dad, I walked by his house when I was using, like, all the time. And I put him through it. He was actually living in, like, a boarding house, like, with just a room that he shared with other guys, and where they shared a kitchen and stuff. And, like, he was in his own depression because he didn't know what was happening with me, and he was just waiting for that phone call to be like, you know, she's either dead or
That's crazy. Sometimes it's like, you know, that's important what you said, that you was willing to do anything to just kind of feel regular, you know, or to get rid of that pain, you know. And if anybody's listening out there, man, if you do have that type of urge, and like her message was so powerful. I hope you caught that. You know, run fast, run to God fast. You know, He does amazing things. You know, and we all can use the Lord. Uh, I'm I'm not as like a go to church every day kind of guy, but you know, I am a Christian man, and you know, I believe, you know, God died for our sins, and I need to go more, you know, seeing these testimonies and things like that. And one thing I always say is, people never go to church when they're healthy. It's like the people in church, they always have something wrong with them, and then you kind of get healed. And we all need to go to church when we're like in our good health. You know, we don't need to go to church when we're down bad, you know, because we have to start praising and living our life. And to see you today and hearing all these, and hearing these like testimonies, and really, you know, you shining the light and seeing the courage through it. Because that's one thing I like to do is, you know, I like to see people in all the different things we all been through, because you don't just get up and become great. You don't just get up and become good or your type of way. You know, you have to go through these experiences, and your experiences, for you to be here, it's amazing. So I want to just tell you, I'm proud of you as a person, and I know we just met, and I want you to continue going strong, and God has you here for a reason. God has all of us here, and as one is a platform that, you know, whenever you want to come and talk to us, we're here. Or, you know, anybody else you may know, they want to, you know, have something, or you even maybe when you want to be apart, you want to find a home or whatever. We are a no judgment zone, because, hey, we all have done things and we're not proud of, you know, but one thing we want to do is we want to uplift each other. And like you said, I love what you said. You have to run, not just run, but run fast. Put your track shoes on. Put your Puma track shoes on. Matter of fact, Puma, if you're listening, go ahead and send us some track shoes. You know, we need that sponsorship. You could be like right here in the middle of it, that Puma track shoes. It's gonna be for God. You know, that's Puma shoes. We're gonna run towards God. So that's the message here. And I want to tell you guys, it's been a beautiful story. I'm trying to hold my tears back.
I just say just one more thing.
Yes, let's talk.
Okay, so like I say, I wanted, like I used that needle, and I wanted to die. And so after I had got clean, and I had started going to the doctor just to get checked out, so I went to jail. Okay, after this, it was like, well, first I finally went to my dad, and he got me into a rehab center, dry out center in Ashland, Kentucky. And I went there for like a week, and I was so sick. And sorry, I don't know how long this lasts. So just stop me if I'm taking too long.
No, we're here. We're talking.
Okay.
No, we're talking.
So so I went to Ashland, Kentucky, and I was in a dry out thing, and I just literally just puked and had diarrhea like the entire time. So I was so dehydrated, they had to put me in the hospital down there. And at that time, like I said, I hadn't seen my daughter and anybody in like a year. And my baby, she was like probably 5 at the time, 4 or 5, and my aunt brought her in there to the hospital, and she didn't even know who I was. Like, she wouldn't even come to me. She didn't know. She just, and that broke my heart. And but being the addict I went back to the dry out center. I lied to them and told them that, I talked to the lady and acted like I was good, and I was ready to, and my mom was going to pick me up. But really, I had called I'm not allowed to use the phone there, but I got on the phone, called my ex, who was on his way to Florida to pick me up, and
so you guys can go.
Yeah. So, but the very next month, so I feel like, the Lord, if I was listening to that small, still voice that's inside of you, like that, he sent me to my dad. But I didn't listen. So, and then I went on my own again. And then the very next month, I was coming up, we went to the doctor down in Florida, and I was on our way back, and we was coming up 71, and got pulled over. FBI, Franklin County, everybody was right there to pull us over, and that's when they took me to jail. And while I was in the back of there, I took a bunch of pills and ended up having to go to the hospital and get my stomach pumped, and then they took me to jail, where I sat in there for 3 months, and that's when I dried out. And they don't care at Jackson Pike. They could care less if you anything. So that's where I got clean. It was those 3 months, and I had a $500,000 bond on my head. I had all these charges, and I'm like, and I'd never really been in trouble before, like, ever. And so that was a real wake-up call.
Yeah. And
all these friends that I thought I had, all these friends that said, "Oh, we'll put money on your books. We'll bring you whites. We'll do all this if something ever was to go down."
That's crazy. She really went to jail. She said, "We'll bring you whites." She said, "We'll bring you whites." She really was in there. I know, right? It's like, we'll bring you whites. Yeah. We'll do this. We'll put money on your books. Yeah, we'll call you. Heard from them. Exactly. Yeah, I still ain't heard Where from they at? Where you at? Yeah. Come on, y'all.
But my dad was there, and he shouldn't have been, after all the lies and times I cheated and stole from him and like all these things. He was there for me. And so I got out, and I didn't talk to any. My boyfriend was also, at the time, like, he had been to prison before, and he had took a lot of the blame for himself, and he went ahead and pled guilty or whatever, and went to prison like almost like months later. I had got out and tried to fight my case.
From the outside.
From the outside, yeah. They finally lowered my bond after 3 months to $2,000, and my dad got me out, and I went to stay with him and got me a job at TJ's over on Parsons, and at the dollar store, but the dollar store had to let me go because of everything. So, but anyway, I started building myself back up from there. And then, fast forward just a little bit, I went to the doctor and got checked up, had all my blood work done and stuff to see, like AIDS, Hep C. I know my ex had Hep C. I'd share needles with people I know had Hep C. And I can show you the record right now. I have nothing. Like, life is in the blood, and like, it was, I have nothing.
It's a blessing, right?
No, it makes me shake just think about it. Like,
just like everything you went through, yeah.
Like, I know, like, I should be dead right now. Like,
no, you should be here.
I know.
He had you here for a reason.
But without God, I should be dead. Like, and then like.
We're back at it. Yeah. But yeah, so, you got a job at TJ's, mm-hmm. and you started working up, and you got your blood work done. Everything is good and healthy.
Yeah.
God has you here for a reason.
Yeah.
And I was a warped child. And the same thing with me. My mom told me my story. I was born in 89, and I'm from West Africa, Liberia, and the war started in 1990.
Oh, wow.
So we was moving from like towns to towns, and my dad, he's Kron, and Kron, that's my tribe. My mom is Va, my dad was Kron, and we called them they were what they call them, the civilized people. They wanted to kill the Kron people. That was the whole accident of the war. So my dad had to hide and everything. So we was moving from like village to village, town to town. We didn't have no food. So I literally was malnourished. Like, I couldn't stand, I couldn't eat. So I definitely can understand that. Like, I feel like God has me here for a reason.
Absolutely.
To be over here and share my story every chance I get and do that. So you're healthy. You're here. You're obviously in a church or a part of a church.
Yes.
Not to mention, you have a huge accomplishment. You're with your daughter.
Yes,
you guys have your own place.
Yes.
Tell us some of the great things that's happening for you. Let's close on that note. Let's close on some
like
blessings.
I say, I got a great job. You know, I work at Honda and at Marysville, and just, you know, I got married, but I'm going through a divorce right now. But that's still, even in itself, is a blessing because, like, you know, I feel like the Lord seeing that, you know, He wasn't the right person for me, and now I'm like, you know, have my daughter. That's what led me to have just me and my daughter. Like that was my dream, like from the start. And you know, like
I heard something the other day. It said sometimes you say, hey, I want a new car, right? And then next thing you know, you get in an accident. It's like, oh, I got in an accident. Well, you said you wanted a new car. God He's making it happen. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
I feel like I rushed it, even with like the marriage thing. Like I feel like I didn't wait on the Lord, and that's, you know, like I try to incorporate Him in everything, you know, because sometimes people don't see it, and I feel like every single thing happens for a reason. I don't believe there's one thing in life that, you know, even if it's bad, like there's a balance that I feel like, and a plan for everything and for everything, and it's just He's good and He is love, and you know, like,
and He loves you, and He loves us,
and He loves you.
Yeah, so He loves Smith too. Shout out to Smith for allowing us to, you know, be in the Haitian headquarters here and give you guys this beautiful story.
Yes.
And I want to say again, please share this message, comment, like. I can't wait to have you at our next think tank, because we just had a think tank.
What is that?
A think tank is when we sit in a circle and we just discuss points of view. You know, we share our stories. We have topics that we hit. This one at this think tank this year, we give out awards to everybody who was on last season. So that's something we'll probably try and incorporate. But yeah. So you in Marysville now? You at the Honda over there?
Yeah.
By Bell Fountain, right?
Yep.
Why y'all ain't got no signal out there?
I don't know, but
there's no signal.
AT&T's the worst.
I'm like, every time I really don't like going out that way, because you know what? There's no signal, especially in Bell Fountain.
Yeah, I haven't really been there. I'm on this side of it. So,
okay.
Yeah, there's East Liberty, I think, between the plant.
Well, any last thing you want to say to the people?
Probably, but I can't really think right now. Like, like I know there's like a ton
of
but
things.
just trust in the Lord and just
and that's it. That's the message, y'all. We thank you for watching. We want you to please contact us. We want to just take this time to say, hey, if you're going through any struggle, it doesn't have to be opioids. You know, you may have any other demons or some things, you know, that you are facing, or even want some help. Reach out. You know, send us an email. Our email is going to be somewhere on here. Smith is going to fit it on here somewhere. It's probably be right here. This is like this where everything should be. This is where the ad. So that sponsorship is, you're right here in the middle of us. Okay. So Puma, that's sneakers. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna say thank you. You're here on Ask One. This is our second season, y'all. We on it. We keep going. So good job.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, like you said though, I just want to say real quick. So yeah, addiction doesn't have to be just pain pills. It can be anything. You know, like a lot of people get addicted to a lot of things.
Where can they find you? What's your social media? Email or?
I still have my married name on Facebook, but it's Manda Banks. There. I think it's Mandabelle8 on Instagram, but I'm on like, Facebook is mostly, and I tell my story on there a lot. Like I have a whole little album of little things that I've shared, like just to show my progress, like from, you know, because I was like super skinny and like, you know, like.
What's that reminder? I didn't get that. Is there anything? I know alcoholics, they have like maybe sometimes a coin or something. Is there anything that?
I tried to go do the NA thing for a minute, and it helps a lot of people. It just wasn't for me. I went to church.
Okay.
And that's it.
That
was it.
That's it.
You know, I once I could see with clear eyes and knew, you know, And there, you know, they incorporate a higher being or whatever. And but I don't know enough about it to even say anything about NA. But I just went to church, and that's what keeps me.
We'll put her Facebook on here if you want to reach directly out to her too. You have that option. You know, either way, we want to make sure we are creating an outlet to help as many people as we can. And
AmandaDials@gmail.com is my email. So.
Yeah, so Amanda is here, man. And again, follow me, IG_Shiv or as AS10ONE. You know, we'll see you next time, all right? Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you.